I don't know how many of you are on. Libby's playing behind me. Quite a few of you have asked. Oh, my phone's going to vibrate now. If it vibrates, I'm really sorry, because I can't put it on aeroplane mode, which normally stops all like messages coming through, because if I'm live, it won't let it go through. But anyway, a lot of you asked about how I make these tissue paper flowers. I learned how to do this when I was on Brownie Guide camp. You don't need a lot to do this. Thank you. She's brung me a sausage in a cup, or in one of her stacking cups. Always good. It's always the same. She can be playing for ages and ages and ages on her own. As soon as I go and film a video or go live, she wants me. So anyway, I'm gonna make some of these. Like I say, I learned to make these when I was I was probably about 6 or 7 when I was at Brownie Guide camp. We used to make them with actual tissues, because you used to have to buy the boxes of tissues that are kind of like they were like pastel in colour, so we used to make them with those, but you can make them with tissue paper. I made 2 bouquets with blue and gold flowers for my friend's wedding. If I can find the photos, I know they're on Facebook somewhere, but yeah, I will try and find the photos and put them up. But I'm just going to show you how to make these. They don't always have to be the same colour or same size, and you can round off the edges like this, or you can leave them flat. So this one's a gold one, because I did make a lot up for the wedding, and I didn't know how many I'd need in the bouquets. Sorry, every time my phone vibrates it goes off a bit. Yeah, I didn't know how many I needed in the bouquets, so I got quite a load made up like this. We started with different colour ones, and yeah, so I've got all them left. So they're easy to post if you need to post them to somebody like this, but they're really, really simple to make. As you can see, I've just rounded off the edges on this one. This one is a very multicoloured one, and as you can see, you can make them as big or as small as you want. This one is a mixture of colours. So you've got the blue, you've got like a white, kind of off-white cream, a green, another off-white cream, an orange, and a purple on this one. So this will be a multicoloured one. They are so simple to make, ideal to kind of make them and put them in a bouquet and just put a bit of ribbon around them. You can spray them with perfume, you can spray them, or you could drop a couple of drops of essential oil on them, and all you actually need to make them is some sort of wire. So for these that I'm going to show you, I'm actually using some pipe cleaners that I got in Poundland, purely because I can't find where I put this wire. This is in the garden section, this wire. They're in like a little white reel, and you get 3 of these reels on a card for £1. I've used that because it just is a bit more sturdier, and it's thinner to slot around the flower. But yeah, I can't remember where the hell I put the reel of this I had, so I will be going and getting some tomorrow and probably be doing this one again to kind of show you how to do it. But yeah, I used wire on that one, but I'm just going to use this yellow pipe cleaner. As you can see, I've kind of half folded it in half, because your flower is actually going to go around this bit, and with this wire, because it's quite thin, I have twisted it together kind of like that kind of thing, just twisted it together to make it a bit stronger, because that is a bit more flexible. This is a bit stronger anyway. So yeah, that's the wire I used. I'm using one of these packs of tissue paper from Poundland. So you get all these colours in them, you get 15 sheets. So I'm just going to choose a colour and make one, and then the only other thing you need is scissors. They are so simple to make, kids can make them, especially if you make them with pipe cleaners. They are so easy for kids to make. But like I say, you can put them in a vase, you can put them in anything. So what colour shall we do? What colour shall we do? Oh, these sheets are pretty big. What colour shall we do? Let's do a pink one, shall we? Actually, we're going to do a blue one, because I haven't done a blue one before. Oh, just try and get the rest of this paper out of the way, guys. I'm going to be slightly cutting my head off when I'm filming this, because I want you to kind of see what's more going on the desk, because I'm leaning on Matt's desk. Just going to put this out the way. So we've got this sheet of tissue paper. I'm not going to do a flower that's this big. I'm going to actually cut it down a bit. I'm just going to fold it in half like this, and I'm going to fold it in half again to do a smaller flower. So I'm just going to cut this, so I've got 4 pieces, if that makes any sense to you. They don't have to be all the same width across either. You can have it so it like builds up in the flower. Hopefully this will make sense to you guys. So just cut that down that side. Just going to cut it down this side as well, guys. just so I get 4 equal pieces. So now I've got 4 pieces like this. So this is only going to make a smallish one, but I'm going to pick the 4 pieces up so I've got them together. Again, you don't have to have the same colour, you could do different colours. I've got 3 people watching, but I don't think anyone's commented at the moment. So all I've done is I've laid the 4 pieces on top of each other like this. I'm now going to fold these in half like this. So then that means we get 8 layers, and I'm just going to cut this in half. It doesn't have to be exact. So now I've got 8 layers of the same colour. I don't have to be the same colour. I'm just trying to make this a bit neater. Right, so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to try and twist the camera down so you can see the desk a bit more to see what I'm going to do. So I'm hoping you can see this a bit better. Just move those out of the way. So as you can see, I've got the 8 layers just laid on top of each other. And I'm going to do it this way. So it's only going to be a flower that's this wide, but I'm going to concertina these. So I'm going to try and aim you as best as I can. 2 seconds, guys. I'm just trying to think of what I can pop in front of the camera a bit. You're not going to see it, but it's going to hold the camera a little bit. Ooh. Hoping that's going to help. Right, that's helping a little bit, isn't it, guys? So you can see a bit better. So the 8 pieces are stacked on top of each other. They are not perfectly cut. They're just roughly cut. I'm just getting all these edges together on one side. So as you can see, they're all now roughly the same height. I'm going to concertina them. So that's folding it over the top first, and then turning it over and folding it back on itself. So you're just going to do that through the whole stage of the flower. Now how big this is going to depend on how big each petal is. So you just keep concertinaing it down. Like I say, you can make it wider, you can make it shorter, you can make it different colours. So just concertina it down, so then it will look like this. So while it's all concertinaed up, you get your wire, or in this case the pipe cleaner, and you sit it roughly in the middle of your flower. So I'm going to go for about there. And then what I tend to do is just twist it quite a few times up against the paper, so that it's really holding this paper here in place. And then you can just twist the bottom of the wire. Like I say, when I do the wire, sorry that my phone's just gone off, guys. When I do that thin wire, this is what I do. I just twist it around. Hi, freebie queen. So yeah, so it's just a bit stronger. So then what I always do, I tend to just round off the edges of these, just so they all look a bit more neat and a bit more kind of together, I suppose. So when it's in the flower, it's not all higgledy-piggledy. So I've just rounded off the edges like that. Put them in the bin. So now what you're going to do is you're going to get your flower this way, and you're just going to spray it out like that. So you'll see that's going to be roughly half your flower. And then what you do is you pick up a piece, like a level of the paper, and just pull it up very, very gently to get it up around the stem. So it'll look like that. So you've got this bit pulled up, these bits down flat, and that's what you do. You just literally pull up each level very gently, bit by bit, because obviously tissue paper rips. Bit by bit, just pull up each level, and you'll see it starts to make like the middle of the flower, and you just keep going, pulling up each individual piece, just like fluffing up in a way. So you can see the flowers starting to come along, and you just keep going, like I say, getting each layer of the paper pulled up and just fluffed out a little bit. This is the bit that takes the time, is fluffing it all out. Not the cutting, not the wiring, but fluffing it all out. I hope this is making any sense to everyone of what I'm doing. So again, you just keep going. So we've got 2 more layers, I think, after this one. And you can see this is the flat layer, and I'm just pulling this layer up like this. Obviously tissue paper rips, so you've got to be gentle. So you can see the flowers really coming on. And then let's do the last 2 layers. It is a bit fiddly, but bear with it. It does work. And I always, once I've done one side, I just fluff it out. So you can see, this is one side of your flower. This is the other concertina side. And you just do exactly the same with this concertina side of what we've just done there. You just pull it all up. So again, I tend to fluff this bit out first. Just makes it a bit easier. And then layer by layer, just pull the paper up. You've got to be very gentle because obviously tissue paper does rip. It's a lot easier with the garden wire, but obviously you can do it with the pipe cleaners like I'm doing with this one. It doesn't matter if you rip the paper a little bit, because the flower you can like sort out a bit more later on. You just need to get like your petals up a bit. It does take the time. This is, like I say, where the time comes in, and kids may get frustrated with this, but it is a very simple activity that the kids can do. So I learnt this when I was a young child. It does get quite fiddly as the flower is getting fuller, but stick with it, guys, and it does work. Just pull it up each level at a time. Say if it rips a little bit, just go with it. It's fine, you can neaten it up a bit later. Obviously the bigger the flower is, the easier it is to do this. The smaller the flower is, the harder it is. But you don't need to use as big a piece of tissue paper, so it just ripped off a little bit, but you don't need to use as big a piece of tissue paper. You can use a smaller piece, like lengthwise. So I'm just, Libby's still watching Despicable Me 3. And there's the last one. So then what I do is I put my hand behind it and just push it all forward. Now as you can see, a couple of bits have ripped, like here. So you can either pull the whole bunch out, which I can do because there's a gap there, so I can kind of fluff it all up. Or you can just get some scissors and just cut out the bits that are not quite perfect. You can leave it not quite perfect. It's the beauty of these flowers, they don't have to be perfect. And like I say, you just put your hand behind them like this and just fluff it forward, and then you're left with a nice looking kind of carnation kind of thing. Now if you wanted to, if you're using a thing like a pipe cleaner, you could stick a pearl or a gem or something like that. But if you're using the wire, you could still do it, but it doesn't give you much space in the middle. And like I say, you can use crepe paper for this as well. You can just fluff it up, and there's your carnation kind of looking flower. Now you could put those in a bunch. I've only got 2 obviously fluffed up, but you could put them in a nice little bunch. I'm just going to stand you up back where you were 2, guys. There you go. Oh, my phone just fell down. So yeah, you can put them in a bunch and spray them with a bit of perfume or something. I find when you do them in a bunch, just twist the wires together. Just get 3 or 4, or however many you want in a bunch. You could do it as colour themed. You can spray some perfume on it. You can spray body spray, incense oils. But you can see they look like carnations. So has that made any sense to anybody how you make these? And like I say, you don't have to round off the edges. I just personally do, just to make it look a bit better. But does that make any sense on how to do them better, or to make them even? Where's that big colourful one I had? There's the big colourful one. So while I'm on, I'm just going to fluff this one out. Any questions, guys? Just let me know. I'm going to pop this in the bin, as I've got a bin bag kind of hanging behind me. Are you being a good baby, are you? Just take all this rubbish off of Matt's desk. So is there any questions, anyone? I'm going to start fluffing out this big colourful one while I'm on, just so you guys can see again. So again, it's just been concertinaed, as you can see, but this is different colour paper on each level, so when the actual flower is all together you will see a lot of different colours. Is there any questions people want to ask me on that? Did it make any sense to yourselves? This hasn't got very many layers to it like the other one, and it is a bigger flower. Is there any questions anyone wants to ask me? Anyone around? It's saying I've got 7 watchers, but nobody seems to be answering any questions or asking any questions or talking. So, is anyone actually there? I think I've seen one comment come up. Obviously, this one didn't have very many layers in it. And it wasn't a very big flower, but you can just play about with it a bit. So as you can see, this is a bigger one. Ideally, when you do the bigger ones across, you need, I mean, these were quite short pieces of paper, as you can see, they're only that big. So ideally you need a bit longer, so you can make more concertinas in it, but you can see it's like a nice flower, and if you put, you know, if you get a little bouquet together, can you kind of see how that would go if you have a little bouquet? Hi lovely, this looks really good, and thanks for sharing. Can people see what I mean by they're so simple to make? And you could put a few of those in a vase, you know, hide the stalks if you want, because obviously if it's in a vase I'd hide the stalks. But you can see how they make a lovely little bouquet. The kids can do them. You can do it out of tissue paper you've got lying around the house when you've had things come in. You can do it out of crepe paper. They are so simple. Like I say, you can make them smell a bit nicer by putting, because obviously they don't smell at the moment, pardon me, by putting perfume or body spray or essential oils on them. They are so simple to make. Like I say, you can make them with pipe cleaners. You can make them with wire. Okay, Mummy. Mummy, we'll just finish this and then we'll do some colouring, okay? Mummy's just going to finish this and then we'll do some colouring. You want it open?
Yeah.
Take it to your table then. Oh, you just want one? Yeah. You want one pencil, do you? Alright, Mummy, come do your colouring with you now. So yeah, guys, this is just a really quick live. I hope that makes sense on how to make these. Any questions, by all means, ask me. And I will get back to you as soon as possible. But yeah, just a really quick one. Hope that helps. And I'll see you soon, guys.